So there are two types of reports in Collaborator. One category of reports is called the detailed review report, and the second category of reports is an aggregate review report. So the detailed review report, I would use this if I wanted to get all the information about one specific review. And this is contrasting the aggregate style of report, which is if I wanted to get specific information about a list of reviews or defects or something like that. So what we're looking at is the detailed review report for a review that I've already completed. And again, this is going to show me all the information about one specific review. So we'll have stuff we expect to have, like review ID, status, who created it, some boring things. But then as we move through, we'll get progressively more interesting information, like time metrics. How long did the review take? Who worked on this review? And how long did they spend on that individually? We'll have the results of checklists, the results of custom fields. We'll have a list of items that this review is linked to. I alluded to the fact that maybe you want to connect this review to a JIRA item. You can see that over here that this review was connected to a JIRA item. And then as we get to the bottom, you can get some metrics around quality, like inspection rate. So this would give me the rate of review in lines of code per hour, and I would use this metric if I wanted to understand the quality of my review process. If this said something like 500,000 lines of code per hour, to me, that would be a red flag that says, hey, this review probably wasn't that thorough. 166, that's a pretty good indicator that the review is thorough. Same with defect density. This would help me understand how many defects we're finding during the review process. We could track this over time to get an idea of our review process quality in general. And then if we get to the very bottom of this file, we have a list of all of the comments or follow-ups that were left on that review. So we can always reference that and use this as kind of a log to understand the full breadth of conversations on the review. All right, so that's a detailed review report. And again, I would use this to get all the information about one specific review, show proof of review. I can export this to a PDF if I wanted to. I can also set up Collaborator to automatically generate this for me. So let's look at the second type of report, which would be that aggregate style report. So I'm going to highlight all the different aggregate reports we have. And you can see we have a lot of them. We're looking at the main reporting section over here now. So all of these reports that I'm highlighting in these blue squares, these are all aggregate style reports. And again, I would run these reports if I want to get specific information about multiple reviews or defects or whatever. So let's go into this report here, recently completed. All of these reports are going to have the same format. The first section, called columns, this is where I'm going to choose which data I want to get out of my system. This is going to include those custom fields, which is important because, again, we may put custom fields onto our review for reporting later. So I can choose which data I want to include in my report. Then in the second section, filters, I can generate a filter to exclude or include certain reviews or defects. Pretty comprehensive filtering system, from basic stuff like show me all the reviews from Bob, or show me all the reviews where there was 3 to 76 comments, right? So you can filter on a lot of different things. And then down here, I can run my report, and that's going to generate a list of data that I could then print out into Excel, maybe build some graphs in Excel, print out into a PDF, generate a link where every time I click that link, it runs that report. I could even grab the raw SQL and use that SQL to build custom queries to query my database directly. And again, I would use this probably for building metrics. That would be probably the most common use case here. If I wanted to build some metrics on my review process, I would grab a bunch of data and then process it later in something like Excel. So those are our two styles of reports. And again, we have a lot of different types of these aggregate reports, but just give you a quick summary there. And again, those two types were the aggregate and the detailed review report.